Besrega Real Partners, this is my step 1 work to looking for designing teaching materials. My name is Rosa Maria Frade and the course is Materials Design for Face-to-Face Environment. The next question is talk about the principle of second language acquisition relevant to development of materials for language teaching. So, I consider the main objectives of materials development are to provide useful information about language in use and opportunities to reflect on this experience. Taking into account that we are talking about face-to-face environment, I consider that the most appropriate materials included in teaching language teaching could be textbooks, self-stories, English textbooks, writing or spoken text, interview with the teacher, doing a project in the local community, listen to the radio, textbooks approach of PPP, mind stories by following oral instruction from the teacher. From this slide, I'm going talking about the principal characteristics materials should have in order to achieve the best language learning. So, materials should achieve impact. Impact is achieved when materials have an noticeable effect on learners. That is, when the learner's curiosity, interest, and attention are attracted. Materials should help learners to feel at ease. The main characteristic of this type of materials are avoid anxious, nervous, or tension learners. The most appropriate are which to help learners to learn instead of to testing all the time. Materials should help learners to develop confidence. Activities that push learners to think, analyze, resolve problems, among others, are benefits because learners can prove their imagination, creativity, and innovation. What is being taught should be perceived by learners as relevant and useful. In ESP, it is fundamental to know learners' interests and work with real-life tasks, which the learners need to perform in a target language. Developing activities that they really want to learn. Also help learners by using help page or strategies before the task. Materials should require and facilitate learner self-investment. The result will be better if learners invest time, effort, and attention in learning activities. As example, if they are interested in a writing or a spoken text. Also, to give them the responsibility to choose the appropriate text according to the objectives. Learners must be ready to acquire the points being taught. The multidimensional model claims that instruction must facilitate the learning processes if the learner is readiness in order to advance on speed and frequency. The learner's attention should be drawn to linguistic features of the input. According to different studies, it's important to help students to understand the grammatical characteristics in order to acquire this competence. The understanding of grammatical rules could be unconscious or unconscious processes. Materials should provide the learners with opportunities to use the target language to achieve communicative purposes. We need to recognize the teaching incentives as formal instruction also serves as interaction. Formal instruction does more than teach a specific item. It also exposes learners to features which are not the focus of the lesson. Materials should take into account that the positive effects of instructions are usually delayed. Research shows that acquisition of the language is the result of a gradual and dynamic process. For this reason, in general, when learners learning something new, they do not use correctly or effectively in the same lesson. Materials should take into account that learners differ in learning styles. The learners have different learning styles. For this reason, the activities should be variable and attain their styles as visual, auditory, kinesthetic, experiential, analytic, global, depend, and independent. Materials should permit a silent period at the beginning of instruction. The learners should have the opportunity to speak until they are ready. Meanwhile, it's useful to begin the course with a total physical response, following oral instructions by the teacher or using drills. Materials should maximize learning potential by encouraging intellectual, aesthetic, and emotional involvement, which stimulates both right and left brain activity. According to Rutherford, to achieve deeper learning is significant in order to avoid trivial content or simple activities, because the objective is to maximize the brain potential, developing activities that involve the two cerebral hemispheres. Materials should not rely too much on controlled practice. Most of the researchers agree with Ellis related to controlled practice seems to not have few effects in long term on precision and new structure. In fact, the most of texts bring opportunities for controlled practice than the use of the language. Materials should provide opportunities for outcome feedback. The purpose of feedback should assess the effectiveness of the result instead of precision. The idea is the learner achieves the purpose of the communication.